Hey everyone, it's Haley, Digital Associate here at Progress, Texas. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's already stepped up during our summer vacation membership drive. Seriously, it means the world. New folks are joining every single day, and that's amazing. But here's the truth. We're still way behind where we need to be. And if you're listening right now, odds are you, yes, you, haven't joined yet. So let me ask you, do you listen to the Daily Dispatch every day? Do you come to our live events? Or do you just care about keeping progressive values alive in Texas? Then we need you to know that what we do doesn't just happen. It takes real support from people who believe in it. And even just a small monthly donation from you can be the thing that keeps Progress Texas going strong. If this work matters to you, don't wait. This is your moment to step up and be a part of something real. Donate today and help us keep fighting. Thanks for listening.
This is not a federal issue. This is absolutely a state issue, as these are state lawmakers, number one. Number two, there's a lot of things that our FBI could be doing, such as keeping us safe, instead of doing the bidding of a corrupt president who has decided that he doesn't want any accountability, and he knows that the persons within his party are not willing to hold him accountable. And honestly, frankly, it is so concerning that this came from John Cornyn. Now, a Ted Cruz doing this, that sounds on brand, but John Cornyn is not this guy. I will tell you that I honestly have the utmost respect for John Cornyn. He has been a good partner when it comes to working on legislation. We have always put Texas first. So the idea that it's now Texas last and it's whatever the orange orangutan wants him to do is really sad, that he would get to this point in his career and then decide that he would start to kind of play the political games.
Dallas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett there from Major Garrett's show on CBS last night. It's Friday, August 8th, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. As the fifth day of the Texas Quorum break begins, CNN says the redistricting showdown is approaching what they call a critical moment. In Austin today, House Republicans plan to convene at 1 p.m. and attempt to advance efforts to redraw the state's congressional maps. But absent developments we haven't seen coming, they will be unable to establish a quorum today. And if that remains the case by the time they wrap up this Friday, the likelihood of getting those maps done by the end of this special session, which many are probably accurately starting to call the first special session, may be out of reach for Governor Greg Abbott and his boss at Mar-a-Lago. At least 12 Democrats would need to be present to meet quorum. 6 have remained behind and will probably be there today. But if any of the Dems who have left the state are considering a fold, they're being very quiet about it. House Speaker Dustin Burrows and the rest of the GOP leadership in Texas have been promising a wide variety of hellfire if the quorum break continues, each version of which comes with deep legal doubt. Ryan Chandler and Bridget Bowman at NBC News says not only is Governor Abbott threatening the out-of-state Dems with arrest, he's also promising, quote, special session after special session after special session, unquote, telling reporters that as he sees it, Texas Democrats will have to stay away for years to permanently stop the GOP redistricting scheme. Much more reasonable in our minds is stopping that from happening before the filing deadline for the March primary, which would come in early December. NBC notes what's at stake here. While Donald Trump took 56% of the vote here in Texas last year, not really what we'd call a landslide, by the way. The proposed congressional map would likely grant Trump control over 30 of our 38 congressional districts, nearly 80%. They already have more than their share. In our current state of gerrymandering, 25 of the 38, almost 66%. So, your MAGA uncle's argument that Trump is somehow entitled to more sway in Texas because of the will of Texas voters is bullshit even before this new map becomes a reality. Over to Senator John Cornyn. Rick Pearson and Jeremy Gorner at the Chicago Tribune say Cornyn's boasts that FBI Director Kash Patel has granted his request to send federal goons after the Texas quorum breakers to hunt them down and drag them back to Austin is being met with continued derision by Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, who took a moment while cutting the ribbon to open the Illinois State Fair yesterday to say, quote, the reality is that all he has said, Cornyn, is that the FBI has been authorized to locate the Texas House Democrats, nothing more. And you know why? because there is no federal law that allows them to arrest Texas Democrats who are here visiting the state of Illinois. I welcome the FBI coming to the state. I hope they take in the state fair. I hope they go see the beauty of Lake Michigan. The adventure awaits for all of them, but they won't be arresting anyone," unquote. And that sounds pretty great, actually. Today's forecast high temperature in Chicago is in the mid-80s. I'm thinking about a trip up there myself. Reuters weighs in on the FBI matter, saying that a source familiar with internal discussions has told them that the FBI has not yet deployed any resources, but that the agency has committed to provide help if asked for it by Texas officials. No such request had yet been made as of yesterday afternoon. Reuters talked to former U.S. Attorney and University of Michigan Law School Professor Barbara McQuaid, who says all she sees so far is a bunch of saber rattling. Quote, "Although federal agents do have authority to assist local law enforcement officials in tracking down fugitives, that requires a filed criminal charge," unquote, none of which have been filed against any of the quorum breakers, perhaps because none of them have actually committed a crime. Sean Ramaswaram at Vox weighs in on the Texas mess, which he thinks is about to get even messier. He talked to Eleanor Klibanoff of the Texas Tribune, who knows a thing or two about this particular mess. Of the potential for FBI involvement, Klibanoff says, quote, "That would be an extraordinary step if that were to happen. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but Texas is a state that pretty proudly likes to manage its own business itself and keep the federal government out of its affairs. So it would be quite the reversal to allow the federal government to arrest its lawmakers and bring them back to Texas," unquote. Klibanoff notes here something that might be obvious but is worth remembering. It will only take 6 of the dozens of quorum breakers to buckle in order to give Trump what he wants. They're all individually under immense and growing pressure to do exactly that. Checking in on Governor Abbott's deadline against House Minority Leader Gene Wu, whom Abbott has asked the Texas Supreme Court to remove from office by 5 p.m. today. Julissa Garza at KHOU-TV in Houston writes that that's a move political analysts say is legally complicated, to say the least. Neither the governor nor attorney general has the power to directly force lawmakers from office. That has to go through the courts, where the decisions of judges, even those under political pressure, aren't guaranteed and also aren't backed by precedent in cases of prior quorum breaks. There's also the path of filing individual cases in each district to ask judges to declare those seats vacant. Those decisions are also not guaranteed, but even if successful, would trigger special elections, a process that would take weeks to unfold and could very well result in these same representatives being put back into office by their voters back home, if not others of the same party affiliation. Over to Attorney General Ken Paxton, who's certainly doing his part. In her own reporting, Eleanor Klibanoff says in the Trib that Paxton and House Speaker Dustin Burrows have asked Illinois' 8th Judicial Circuit Court to enforce their largely symbolic civil arrest warrants against the quorum breakers. Paxton opining in his filing, quote, "The Texas representatives named herein," meaning the House Democrats, "hope the state of Illinois will provide safe harbor for their political actions and shield them from legal process. The United States Constitution, federal statute, and the doctrine of comity between states demand otherwise," unquote. And wow, that sounds official, Ken. Paxton is once again judge shopping here, as he's done up in Amarillo and other places around the state of Texas. The 8th Judicial Circuit Court is located in western Illinois, far from Barack Obama and Oprah Winfrey's Chicago, and a county that went to Trump by 47 points last year. So a lot of threats, a lot of bluster from Texas's Republican regime, but no clear and easy path to getting them what they want, which, let's keep in mind, is what Donald Trump wants. Kayla Guo at the Texas Tribune says that beyond the practical goal of stopping that from happening, the Democrats who have taken on all of this personal sacrifice and risk are seeking to build inspiration and lay the groundwork for a national fight over redistricting by gaining the attention of enough voters across the country and helping those voters understand that what the quorum breakers are resisting is the desperate effort of Donald Trump to stack the deck ahead of the midterm election next year. We're loving a shot in this Texas Tribune article of Houston area State Rep Armando Wally speaking at the Massachusetts State House in Boston on Wednesday's 60th anniversary of LBJ's signing of the Voting Rights Act, surrounded by fellow Texans and signs that read, "Texas is first, your state is next." This is also what we're doing at Progress Texas, spreading understanding of why this is a fight important enough for all of us to make personal sacrifices. San Antonio State Rep Trey Martinez-Fisher, who we talked to just a few days ago, that talks just a few clicks back on this podcast feed, says, quote, "It takes an act of defiance like this to wake up the country and let them know that our democracy is being stolen right in front of our eyes. If we're going to be the spark that lights that fire, then we're doing our jobs," unquote, and amen. Austin listeners and soccer fans, take note. Tickets are on sale now for our upcoming live podcast taping event with All-Star Austin goalkeeper Brad Stuver on September 15th. We're going to be talking about Brad's courageous progressive activism alongside his wife Ashley, both of their ventures into political advocacy, including their own Brad and Ashley Stuver Foundation, and the gumption it takes for public figures to be brave and stand up for what's right these days. All of this is happening at Hop Squad Brewery in North Austin near the stadium and co-hosted by Landon Cottom of the Austin FC podcast Moon Tower Soccer. Tickets are limited, so you want to get them right now at progresstexas.org. Again, this is happening Monday, September 15th. Live podcast recording with Austin FC goalkeeper Brad Stuver at Hop Squad Brewing near Q2 Stadium. Our mission at Progress Texas is to counter the billionaire and corporate-funded conservative disinformation machine at a moment when funding for public and independent media outlets and media figures who don't bow down to MAGA is under full attack. Progress Texas relies on listener support to keep going, but we've lately come within 3 months of running out of funding. Thus, we're continuing with our summer vacation membership drive. If just 10% of our audience signed up for a monthly donation of at least $10, we'd be good for the next year. We'd like to avoid going on a permanent vacation, and we could use your support right now as a monthly contributor at progresstexas.org. We want to thank Jennifer Barnes, Leslie Berry, and the ever-so-rad Jenny Laughlin, all of whom have signed up lately. We appreciate all of you very, very much. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Friday, August 8th, 2025. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a terrific weekend, and we'll catch you again on Monday.